people talking about the gospel. I think Tuesday, when I realized, okay, it's my turn, I was like in the car and, Lord, what am I going to talk about? And immediately the word fasting came up. And I'm like, fasting. Don't know much about that. What about, I love testimonies. I've got a lot of knowledge around the occult, worked for a long time with those people. What about a son that is boosting his mother's faith? So we leave it there. Carrying on. Then something, it's like, okay, mercy is running out. Okay, I'll do that. Sunday night, it was like, okay, Lord, I need something to talk about. And guess what? Fasting, my girl. I'm like, I don't know anything about it. Go and find out. So here we go, fasting, people. That's the big thing. One of the most powerful spiritual practices God has gifted to us is fasting. Yeah. There are profound spiritual benefits that can only be unlocked by the combined power of prayer and fasting. In Matthew 9, verse 14, when Jesus was asked why his disciples didn't fast, Jesus responded by saying, how can the guests of the bridegroom mourn while he is with them? The time will come when the bridegroom will be taken from them, then they will fast. Jesus was affirming that fasting would be a key practice for his followers once he returned to the Father. There are so many dimensions of God that he wants us to access so that we can walk in fullness of our calling and the abundant life that he promises. But these dimensions will not be accessed except by regular sacrifice. Every government has its own system of executive rulership, laws, high court, and currency. This is the way that order is maintained in a nation. The kingdom of heaven was the first government to have this kind of infrastructure in place, and the pattern that our earthly kingdom followed is spiritual intelligence that was downloaded from the unseen realm. The kingdom of heaven is the governing authority that oversees both the unseen, which is your spiritual realm, and your visible realm, which is earth, where we are staying, the physical now. It is critical for us to recognize that many of the radical changes that we want to see on earth depends on our ability to first shift the things in the unseen realm. Those engaged in witchcraft and occult practices possess a deep understanding of this reality and are actively shaping the destinies of people, global events, and the very fabric of our world by engaging with Satan's government, which, like the kingdom of heaven, is in the unseen. The currency used to interact with spiritual authorities and bring about results in the physical world is sacrifice. And there is no greater example of this than Jesus' sacrifice on the cross. The kingdom of darkness are willing to sacrifice things of immense value, even human lives, to transact with a government that they align with. And as such, they are able to exercise influence over the operations of the physical realm. Though Jesus does not ask us to sacrifice other people, thank goodness, he certainly requires sacrifice from us. In Romans 12 verse 1, but that we would present our entire being as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. The agents of Satan offering valuable sacrifices to manipulate the physical realm according to their will. In contrast, we are called to be agents of Jesus Christ, offering the sacrifice of our lives and ongoing self-denial, so that we may influence the world in alignment with God's will. And there Okay, this is where fasting becomes critical. It is one of the most potent spiritual tools God has made available to us. The battle against the flesh is the most intense warfare a believer faces, as it is a struggle against the nature we have been familiar with since birth. Walking in the divine nature requires intentional effort on our part, and this is where fasting plays a crucial role. Fasting is a spiritual discipline that strengthens your capacity for self-denial. By training yourself to exercise mastery over your desires through the deprivation of necessities, you build confidence to resist temptation when it arises, knowing you have the strength to deny yourself. The combination of fasting and prayer did two things for Jesus. Firstly, it strengthened his resolve against the schemes of the enemy. And secondly, his time of prayer and fasting in the wilderness activated the supernatural power that manifested in the signs and wonders that defined his ministry. Luke 4 verse 14 tells us that he returned to Galilee in the power of the Spirit. In God's divine wisdom, the practice that he has given us to generate spiritual currency also produced the discipline and grace we need to be worthy carriers of his authority. One of the most powerful benefits of fasting is its ability to open us to divine revelation and hidden truths from the realm of God. An example of this is found in the book of Daniel. Daniel's fasting drew heaven's attention to his situation. Fasting not only positioned us to receive revelation, but also empower the angels sent to assist us. For far too long, it has been a rarity in the church to see the flow of the supernatural power of the Holy Spirit. While this is God's desire, its manifestation in our world will depend on our willingness to submit to his authority and our readiness to sacrifice through prayer and fasting. I think one of the things that amazes me the most is while fasting requires sacrificing from us, God in his grace and in his mercy resets our physical body as well. While you're fasting, I mean, the first thing that happens in your body is it's using up the glycogen, which is that water-filled sacks of sugar, and then your body is lowering the insulin, and then it stimulates growth hormones, which is very nice because it's anti-aging, like that one. And eventually, when you're going in autophagy, which is the process where the body is cleansing itself, and also known as self-eating, the body is getting rid of all the old cells, eating its way through the useless stuff, and the old white blood cells, cancerous cells, and producing a whole new immune system with brand new cells. And so fasting doesn't just benefit us spiritually, which is the main thing, but it also benefits the physical body. So how can you not love God? Amen.